to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, everyone. This is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor, and we're gonna do the review for NXT on the 28th of this month. And you know what? They're leading up to a big demolition derby here locally, so we're very proud of that. But we're gonna do the NXT review, and here we start out. We start out with the all-knowing and the all-wise Ava. And Ava comes in, and she's talking some good stuff about the women's division and, doing the build-up and the best women's division. And, she's going to go into, of course, bringing on the new title of the North American Women's Division. All good on all that. They could have maybe put a better, maybe Shawn Michaels. But, hey, I understand if he has some speaking problems too. So, we go to that. So she opens it up. She does her little deal. And then she brings out the star of the show, apparently. I mean, this is a wrestling show, but they bring out Sexy Red, twerking, and coming on out with at least some glasses on to, I don't know. The face tats and everything, it's a different era. I'm an old person, hey, I don't quite, but the twerking, coming out into the ring and just, it's all about the Sexy Red. It's not about NXT anymore. So they bring out somebody that they want to promote. And while she, Ava hands her the mic in front of the belt, she twerks. Or I think I'm calling that right. But, all right, so Ava and her have some more discussion, and she lets Sexy Red unveil the belt. And let me just say, look, I love rap, I love hip-hop, I love all of that, but I know they're trying to bring a new artist in that's hot, and they're trying to do, but, you've got Whoop That Trick on there. You've got a Grammy award-winning, anyway. All right, so maybe I shouldn't go into this. Anyway, so Sexy Red gets out there, does the whole unveil of the belt, and then, of course, Tatum Paxley comes up in there, and she gets into a tug-of-war with Sexy Red. And then Mia Chin comes out there. And then, look, Miss Chin is freaking, I love her. I love her. I love the fact that she hasn't gotten, she just hasn't gotten the promotion or the push that she should. And with the family name, maybe she's a scapegoat on this deal, but she doesn't get the push that she has. So Michin, anyway, she does great in this match. And hey, look, Tatum Paxley does very good. in this match. She represents really good. But I mean, there is an obvious discretion in experience and the overway to sell. Like Michin she looks the part. She is the part. They should give this lady her push. And I know she's probably in a teaching phase and getting over. So, I mean, she's going to win this match. And I understand why. But, man, give her one good push. And then let her go back to training everyone else. Just my opinion on that. It is how it is. It's the way WWE works. And I mean, they have Jada Parker come out, and she gets on the mic a little bit and causes a little distraction. No big deal in this deal, but I mean, gets Jada Parker on the screen. So I like that, and that fact, so as I said on this match, though, good match, and the proper winner, if you ask me. But we'll go from there. All right, so let me see. We have Jada, actually, though, in this, calling Vic on the mic. Booker T's partner. Calls him a snitch, and that's, and Michin wins on this, and then they do a little promo. And then Gallus. And Gallus is kind of looking for Woofy, or Woofy D in my area, but, a Wolfgang. And they're not sure where he is, but Metaphor comes out, and Mensa is calling him out, and taking out Noam, and, they say, I thought you were better than this, so, and then they go to another promo with Ariana Grace and Lola Vice. Now, Ariana Grace would be a great politician, somebody that, what do they call it? I can't think of it right now, but a used car salesman, a lobbyist is what I was thinking of. A lobbyist. She would do great at it. But she messes around with Lola Vice, and, so there's a match there. And she says the first time, the un-PG, and I'll have to get actual approval from the head office up in New York to see when these, my guys say the words that are inappropriate. Can I say them? I don't know. We're trying to make this a PG rated kind of show. I like, I got a lot of friends and a lot of people that comment, and they watch the show with their kids. So never want to be anyway intrusive to that. So here we go. All right, so we go from there to we've got to Chase U and Riley Osborne going against Ridge Holland, and Andre Chase said that he wanted to kind of clear the air, and kind of and let's just fight it out in the ring, and then everybody's good. So, they're going to have the match, and it's Ridge and Riley Osborne. And look, Riley is really good. He's got a future ahead of him. And they have a good match. They have a good match. But at one point in time, you hear Ridge telling everybody, I don't want to do this. It's like, hey, man, and he continues on, and he does. But at one time, he goes to grab the stairs, and Thea stops him. So that's their new angle. Thea is trying to bring him in. So this is the story that they're writing. But after the match, Ridge grabs Riley and says, hey, man, and puts his hand out there. And Ridge, got his hand out, and Riley just says, hey, screw you. Goes onto the bottom rope, and then Duke leaves with him. So, all right, so we've got a few angles there, and then they go from there to Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. They go to a promo. And, they're kind of calling out the champs. They've pretty much made their statement. They've said what they need to say. So, Axiom and Nathan, they're saying what they got to say to them on that. So, all right. And then from there, we've got a locker room update. Everybody's trying to figure out who took out Mensa. They go from there, and they go straight into, you've got Blake and Amalfi, and with Brinley, Brinley Reese. She has to be here a little while before I know her name. That's the way I used to do my restaurant employees, unless you were there for a while. But the OC comes in, Gallows and Anderson, and they feel a little disrespected. And they come into this match now. Amalfi and Blade are just freaking great. And they have main roster written all over them. It's just the way it is. But in this match, they've got to let, Amalfi and Blade shine, get their offensive moves. They got to sell. And Big Gallows, he's going to. But Brinley Reese causes a distraction in this match because she's talking to them. And then, somebody gets knocked off the apron. And they take out Brinley, and then everybody's upset because Brinley took a fall on the outside. But yeah, it causes a distraction. And against the OC, you got Gallows, beating you down. You got Anderson machine gun coming off of everywhere, and then eventually you're going to get the big pin. So the OC is going to win this, and the OC coming into the story writing, I'm all good with. I like it. And Amalfi and Blade, man, they are just good. They're high flyers. They can make the moves. They're good on the mic. Give them the stick. It's okay, but in this potential or in this eventual deal, they get the win. But then, of course, you give the champs, Axiom and Nathan, a chance to jump them after the match. And take the fact that the bigger team has been in a match and they got knocked out, and it gives them a chance to shine in their glory. And look, Axiom and Nathan, they're one of the fastest teams I've seen in a while since, they're more organized than Rock and Roll Express. I mean, Rock and Roll Express was the first time we'd ever seen organized moves. These guys are, have taken it to a whole nother level. But anyway, we go from there to Dante Chin. They do the first Singaporean born wrestler. They do all the promos. They do all the stuff. Hey, look, man, give this guy his credit. He has built himself up. He has made himself better on the stick. And hey, man, he's got a following. And so Lex is king. It's got to come out because they show a little spot. They do a promo with him on his win over Lexus King. And, of course, everybody's congratulating him in the locker room. And then, Lexus comes in and says, hey, enjoy your 10 minutes of fame. Yeah, but that, you know what that means. There's a match tonight. But, they go from there. They do a little cut to Roxanne real quickly. And, Roxanne is, her heel turn. Got okay with it. But you got Javon and Trick in the locker room doing their little spot. Now Javon, I think, is better than Trick. But they bring Sexy Red out again. And they do a little spot. And this is just a push of I don't know, man. It's just a push for... She is going to end up hosting Battleground. They're going to announce that later. I'll say that. But Trick is just... Anyway, Javon is very good. So they got Roxanne coming to the ring on the stick because she needs to find out who her opponent is. And, they give her a little time on there, and she does okay. I can't say anything about it, but Roxanne wants to know who her opponent is coming up. And this may be the biggest women's on NXT that I've ever said. I mean, to be realistic, Ava comes on and says this is the best ladies division. And hey, look, man, they've all been performing. You see the ladies going up to the main roster. But now, have they brought the best, and are they going to screw it up? But Ava comes out, and she does her little spill, the all-knowing and the all-wise. And we got to remember. But Ava comes out, and she does her little spiel. But it's Jordan Grace, the TNA champ. Did WWE buy TNA? I've been distracted and I just didn't know. But the belt is around her shoulder. And Jordan Grace comes in. And Jordan Grace is good on the stick. And Jordan Grace is a bad young lady. This is a woman that Natty's strong. Ivy strong. Jordan stronger. So hey, they're bringing in somebody like that. That is maybe new management. This would maybe not have been done under prior ownership. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. So, to me, that's one of the biggest on the show there. All right. So, after that, we've got Eddie Thorpe. They're bringing Eddie Thorpe back in and giving him a little time, and he's reborn. And yeah, okay. So we go from there to a little promo with Chase U. And Riley just keeps saying that Ridge can't be trusted. And Duke agrees. And so they go off into their corner, and then Ridge comes in, and, they do that one day at a time routine, which, been there. So is that going to come into play? All right. Finally, we have the oh crap match. We're not going to go with the correct terminology that Ariana Grace used, but it's the Ariana Grace Lola Vice match. And look, Lola is threatening, and they're doing a good build on her, but Ariana Grace is maybe better than I thought she was. In-ring skill, I mean, Lola fakes her out a couple of times, and you gotta be skilled to know when the fake comes. And then, Lola's gonna have the big strikes and everything you need in this. But Ariana Grace is quietly becoming, a little surprise to me. But in this particular match, in the way they're doing this, Lola Vice gets the win in the oh crap match. And then, Lola calls out Shayna and says, you choose it, young lady. And then, of course, she comes out, and they're getting ready for the Underground at Battleground. And then we got a Carly Bright promo, a cheerleader at Minnesota. All right, and then Izzy is in the locker room doing a promo, and she insults Natty, and Izzy is bigger than everybody and stronger, and Carmen goes to defend her, and so we're seeing where they're going with that, but Izzy really looks good in this, to tell you the truth. From there, you've got you've got the no quarter catch crew, and they're doing a little spot. And they've got they're putting Damon King. They're putting Big Damon up against Tony D of the family. But it seems the guys are a little tore up, a little messed up. But, not so bad. Promo, not so bad. But it's going to lead to the match with Lexis King and Dante Chen. And, they've covered everything before. They've covered, they got some angles and they got some stories. But now, Lexis King and Dante Chen, it's a good match. Lexis is going to take it. And I'm not going to give you too much into it because it's worth going back and looking at. But Mr. Stone is probably going to be involved somewhere in this. But yeah, you got a good little Josh Briggs saying he was signed in 2020. Kind of tells this story in his promo. Not a bad spot. But then you got Sean Spears, the chairman, coming in, and he's kind of scared for the youth. but he's there to guide them. So is he the answer? We'll go from there. And after that, you got Tony D and the family doing a little promo. And, Tony's saying the cup's growing on him. It's kind of growing on him. So, that big goofy chihuahua. But then you've got a North American qualifying match for the ladies division. And you've got Valorant on commentary. But you're going to have Ren St. Clair going against Kiana Jordan. And they're giving Miss Jordan a push. And, Kiana, does, Kiana does very good. She gets the win, and she's getting the push, but, I don't know. After that, they've got Stevie Turner. The radio person they were trying to push a little while. She's hollering at Mr. Stone. And then Ava, comes in and gives her a match with Miss Grace. So, anyway, but let's hope they don't screw this up on Grace. Please don't. This lady is a true bad to the bone. So maybe let's give her something. Maybe you got a Wesley promo calling out Gallus and Joe Coffey, and Oba Finney gets involved, and Oba is big. And from there, you've got Gallus, you got Joe Coffey, and you've got you got Gallus without Wolfgang. And so you got the brothers in there, Joe and Mark Coffey, and you've got Javon Evans and Trick. And they bring out Sexy Red again. And look, I'm just going to cut this to the end and go, the match is okay. They're really trying to push Sexy Red. Okay. Mike Tyson made face tattoos really cool. I'm not sure if she's pulling it off, but that's just my opinion. I come from a city where the first rap Emmy, the first rap award was ever given when that was to 3-6. So I kind of take a little homage to the bringing somebody out like that. Pay 3-6 some money. You're already having to pay them for the whoop that trick. But anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. A good match, I guess. Sexy Red gets involved. Javon. Javon is really good in this match. He's really good, and he's going to be really, really good. And they're going to get the win in this. But, I mean, I don't know. Give them their props. Let them have a little time out there since they had Sexy Red out there. But just not real sold on them, bringing musicians out like this, and just to promote a CD, and you're trying to build a wrestler's career, and you're going to take the time that they're on, on actual TV, and you're going to make them have to do something so extravagant that they distract someone. I mean, a manager is a trained person that knows how to make it work. You can't train somebody in 8 minutes to do that. But anyway, they do what they do, Sexy Red gets to come out, give him his belt, and they dance around. Okay. It is what it is from this one, guys. Yeah. Javon is going to be a star. Trick needs time. Sexy Red. Why? And then, of course, Lash Legend comes out towards the end. Needs to know if, Trick was the one that jumped him. He says no, they go off air or whatever. But, oh no, that's not it. That's not it at all. It goes dark, and then out of nowhere, you get Ethan Page. Remember him? Have y'all all forgot about Ethan Page? Well, he's back. And look, they needed this. The all ego, they needed some kind of influx on the end of this. He takes out Javon and he takes out everybody. They let him do something, but they needed something. All right, so anyway, we're going to go. Ethan holds up the belt in the end, so they're putting another square and a round pole, and probably Mr. Evans rise to the top. But all right, so here we go, folks. This show. All right, go back and check it out. Some good matches on there, but I'm hoping for the writing. But anyway, guys, this is Memphis Mark. And I'm going to tell you, if you can, get out there and help a rescue. Do what you can. And as always, spay and neuter. But this is Memphis Mark, and I am out.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.